Today I'm going to teach you how to draw realistic animals, starting with just geometric shapes. So for this demonstration, I'm going to use an owl as an example, and I always have a picture to look at when I'm doing this, and I try to first figure out what kind of shapes I could use for each part of the owl's body. So for the head, I thought a circle would probably fit the best. So I'm going to draw a circle on my paper. Okay, and you want to draw your shapes kind of lightly. And drawing a circle is, try your best. It's hard to get it to be perfect, but if there's one part that looks like it needs to be adjusted, you can just try to make it a little bit different. So I see that part needs a little bit of an adjustment. So I'll just go back and erase. Okay, so for the body of the owl, I'm going to use an oval. I think the oval would fit the best. So an oval is just kind of a longer stretched out circle, and the body's kind of diagonal, so I'm going to try to draw the oval and a diagonal as well. I'm drawing these lightly because eventually we will erase our shapes. We're just using them to start our drawing. For this wing part of the owl and the tail feathers here, I thought just one long skinny oval would work well for that. And the shapes that you use will really depend on the animal that you're drawing. Sometimes you might need a square or a triangle or a rectangle. But ovals and circles come in very handy for drawing animals. For the feet and the legs, I thought probably a square shape here. So I'm going to draw that in for the legs. And then I thought for the feet or the talons, I thought just like another oval would work well for that. So I'm going to draw those shapes in. And you can see that doesn't look like an owl yet, but it's starting to take shape. So from here, I'm going to start adding my details. So starting with the head and the neck area, I'm going to look really careful at my picture and just try to add some of the lines and details that I see. So the head and the neck are a little bit more connected here, so I'm going to join those up together on both sides. Okay. There's also a little bit of the wing that kind of peeks out over here from the other side. And you can go back and erase any parts of this shapes that you don't need. So I'm going to erase these parts. And it's okay if some of it's still showing. We're going to eventually color our animals in. Okay. And for the owl's face, it's kind of like the bottom of a circle. And then the top of it almost looks like a heart shape. The top of a heart. And then I see another line here for where the beak is. And some texture for the feathers, kind of like a zigzag line. So just take your time. I'm drawing a little faster than you probably should. Just go slow, look at the details, and try to get those on your paper as best as you can. The shape of the eye is kind of like a almond or like a lemon shape. And then that beak is kind of like a triangle. So I'm going to go from this area and move down towards the wing and just get some of this texture and lines that I see. And I see it. The shape of the wing over here is a little bit sharper. See some different lines for the texture of the feathers. So take your time and just try to get in some of these details that you see. Okay, and then I also have tail feathers back here. I'm going to add in. Okay. And then for the legs, I'm going to use this square shape as my starting point. Just add in some more lines to kind of separate it into two legs. And then for the talons, I'm just going to try my best to get these shapes and curves that I see for the claws. And sometimes it helps to even trace over a picture if you have it printed out, or go over it with your finger on the screen just to see what direction your pencil would have to move in. That's sometimes helpful. Okay, put those talons in. Alright, so I'm starting to get a much more realistic looking owl here. I can then go in and add more details. I would go back and erase some of those shapes that I can still see, and I'll end up with a much more realistic drawing.